Welcome to the Bergen Trauma Training Center meeting where Maggie and I will be introducing you to the Bergen Trauma Training Center as well as ourselves. So just a little bit about the Bergen Trauma Training and Treatment Center. We are a part of CarePlus New Jersey. CarePlus is one of the community mental health agencies in Bergen County here in New Jersey. And Bergen Trauma Training Center is a 5-year federal SAMHSA grant embedded within CarePlus New Jersey, where we have several goals. The overall arching goals are to make our agency more trauma informed, meaning that we're training clinicians in modalities such as eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, ARC, which stands for attachment, self-regulation, and competency, as well as TFCBT, trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy. Additionally, we're making our supervision more trauma informed and having opportunities for our clinicians. Beyond that, we also want to make our community more trauma informed, which means that we are doing trainings for organizations such as schools, other community partners, pretty much wherever we're invited, and trying to really get the word out. I want to take this chance to introduce Maggie Walsh and let her say a little bit about herself.
Thanks so much, Jen. As Jen mentioned, my name is Maggie Walsh, and I am a licensed associate counselor working alongside Jen for the Bergen Training and Treatment Center as well through CarePlus. My background is in school counseling, so I am a certified school counselor and was working in a school for about 4.5 years. And then I decided that I wanted to move more into the clinical world. And so I've been a clinician with CarePlus since January, and I started in my current role at the end of August. And as Jen mentioned a little bit, I'm the one that's doing a lot of those trainings that she talked about. So going into schools and talking with administrators and staff and educators and training them, trying to get them to understand and utilize a trauma-informed lens, and also helping out with the trainings within the agency itself. So it's a very exciting opportunity, and I'm really excited for this YouTube channel as well. So Jen, I'm going to hand it right back over to you for you to introduce yourself.
Awesome, thanks Maggie. So my name is Jen Velton, and I've been an employee here with CarePlus for the past 6 years. In addition to that, I was a school-based counselor for 3 years as well. And I've been a co-clinician, which is one of our outpatient programs here with CarePlus, as well as running a social skills group. And then most recently, for the past 2.5 years, been the program manager of this particular trauma grant. I'm a licensed professional counselor in the state of New Jersey. And I did get my master's in forensic mental health counseling, which is very interesting because it obviously ties into this trauma world, that we're working in. So with that in mind, our idea for this channel is to interview a bunch of different stakeholders. For the month of October, we're hoping to interview a school-based clinician to get their take on things. But moving forward, we'll be setting up at least one interview a month to share with you all, as well as sharing NCTSN, National Child Traumatic Stress Network resources with you periodically as well. So make sure to check back in with us, subscribe to the YouTube channel so that way you can get information whenever we're posting new videos. So we just want to end with establishing the ongoing question that we'll be sort of asking all of the people that we interview. So Maggie, I want to know, in your opinion, what allows someone to overcome a trauma history?
Thanks, Jen. So, when thinking about that, the word that comes to mind for me is support. When clients and anybody in general, when we're talking about having a trauma history, is having that supportive network. And that's going to look a little different for everybody, but as long as we have that, we're able to really be able to work through the different trauma history that we might encounter. And as I mentioned, it could be, a therapist, it could be family, it could be having friends, whatever it may be. But as long as you have that supportive network, I really believe that people can work through and overcome their trauma histories.
Great, that's wonderful.
And Jen, if I were to ask you that same question, so in your opinion, what allows someone to overcome a trauma history.
So I agree with everything that you said, Maggie, and I would also just add to that, having a sense of hope and being future oriented and focused on what can be is so important. And we know in our work with suicidality and loss that this is a large component, making a client, a family member, whoever it is, feel that sense of hope that things might be better in the future. They might be different down the road, and connecting them into that belief, because once they have it internally, the sky's the limit, right? We can work to overcome anything that may have occurred in our past. So I agree with you. Support, so important, and also connecting into that sense of hope and that sense of future resiliency. So we want to just thank you for joining us for our introductory video to the Bergen Trauma Training and Treatment Center. And again, subscribe and wait for some more videos from us. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much, everybody.